Hello, little listeners. Are you ready to dive deep down under the sparkling blue sea for an adventure? Today's story is about a friend of mine who lives in a cozy coral castle. His name is Ollie, and he is a very cheerful, very busy little octopus. Now, what makes Ollie so special? That's right. He has 8 wiggly, squiggly arms. But wait! Ollie was a very special kind of octopus. He actually had 10 wonderful arms. 2 more than anyone else. He could give the best 10-armed hugs in the entire ocean. Ollie loved to help his friends. But sometimes, having 10 arms to keep track of could get a little confusing. He would start one job, then another, and another, until all 10 of his arms were busy doing 10 different things, and he would forget what he was doing first. It was a wonderful, wiggly mess. One sunny morning, Ollie floated out of his coral castle, ready to help. First, he saw his friend Shelly the seahorse. Shelly was trying to tidy up her patch of seaweed, but it was very tangled. One of Ollie's arms immediately shot out to help her straighten a long green strand. Then he saw Clark the crab trying to build a new sandcastle. 2 of Ollie's arms hurried over to help him pat down the sand and stack up shells. A moment later, he heard a beautiful song. It was Marina the mermaid, practicing a new tune on her shiny pearl harp. One of Ollie's arms picked up a clamshell to tap along like a drum. Tap, tap, tap. Ollie was so busy helping everyone that he didn't notice his arms were getting tied up in a giant loopy knot. He had 1 arm with Shelly, 2 arms with Clark, 1 arm tapping with Marina, and the other 6 arms were waving hello to a passing school of fish, collecting pretty pink seashells and trying to scratch his nose. He was helping everyone at once. But then Shelly asked him to hold a piece of seaweed steady. Clark asked him to fetch a special tower shell. Marina asked him to keep the rhythm. And all at the same time, Ollie tried to move, but he couldn't. He looked down. His 10 arms were all twisted together in one gigantic, hopeless knot. He was tangled up in his own helpfulness. He couldn't move a single arm to help anyone. Oh dear. Ollie felt very stuck and very silly. His friends gathered around, very worried. How could they help Ollie get untangled? It looked like a big ball of rainbow spaghetti. Marina had a very clever idea. She suggested they help Ollie count his arms, one by one, to find where the knot began and where it ended. Ollie liked this idea. He took a deep, bubbly breath. Okay, little listeners, can you help Ollie and his friends count? We need to find arm number 1. Let's all look very carefully. Marina pointed to the arm that was holding Shelly's seaweed. That seemed like a good place to start. Everyone chorused together. Next to it was an arm that was still patting Clark's sandcastle. That was arm number 2. Then they found the arm that had been tapping the clamshell. That was arm number 3. Now, can you help us find number 4? It was an arm holding a pretty pink seashell. 4. Number 5 was waving at the fish. 5. Number 6 was trying to scratch Ollie's nose. 6. They kept looking. Number 7 was wrapped around a piece of coral. 7. Number 8 was holding a smooth gray stone. 8. Number 9 was tangled up with number 4. 9. And finally, way at the bottom, was arm number 10, the one that had started collecting a bubble. 10. They had found all 10 arms, but they were still in a big knot. Shelly the seahorse had another idea. What if they untied them one by one in order? They had to start with the last arm that got tangled. So, very carefully, Marina guided arm number 10 out of the bubble and gently loosened it. Then, she and Clark carefully unwound arm 9 from arm 4. It was like a puzzle. They untied arm 8, then 7. Ollie was starting to feel less squeezed. They freed arm 6, then 5, then 4. Almost there! They untangled arm 3, then 2. And finally, with a little wiggly pop, arm number 1 was free. Ollie the Octopus was untangled. He wiggled all 10 of his arms in the water, making 10 little currents. He was so happy to be free. He gave Shelly, Clark, and Marina a giant but much more careful 10-armed hug. He learned something very important that day. It was wonderful to be helpful, but it was even better to help one friend at a time. He decided to count his tasks before he started. 1 task for arm 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. That way he would never get tied up in a knot again. And from then on, when Ollie helped build a sandcastle, he used all 10 arms to make it the biggest, most beautiful castle under the sea. And everyone agreed that was the very best way to help. I wonder what we will count on our next adventure. Maybe the shiny stars in the night sky. But that is a story for another time. Moral: it's better to finish one task completely before starting another, and counting helps us